Picture this. You wake up, roll over, and open your banking app because you already know it's going to be tight. Balance, right underneath it. Overdraft fee, $35. You just paid rent. You just paid your card minimums. You did everything right, and your bank still made almost as much money off you today as you did off your job. Later that week, your car makes that little grinding noise you've been ignoring. You take it in just to check, and they hit you with a $600 estimate. You don't think, can I afford it? You think, which card still has room on it? And somewhere in between scrolling debt collector emails and clearing bill reminders, you see someone online say, just save your first, and it feels like they're talking about another planet. You're staring at $42 and they're talking about $10,000 like it's a warm-up lap, but here's what's really messing with you. You're not lazy. You're not stupid. You work. You care. You're trying. So why does it feel like one bad week could erase 6 months of effort? There is a point where money stops feeling like constant emergency mode and starts feeling like a tiny bit of breathing room. For a lot of people, that turning point isn't $100K or $1 million. It's that first $10,000. If you've ever felt like one unexpected bill could completely wreck your life for a month, this video is for you. Welcome to Mie Invests channel, where smart money moves start here. Subscribe for clear financial strategies. Here's the blunt version. Your first $10,000 is the hardest money you will ever save. Not because 10 grand is some huge, impossible number, but because you're trying to build it with a broke brain, broke habit, and basically zero help from your money. Right now, it probably feels like this. Going from 0 to $10K, that feels like climbing a mountain in socks. Going from $10K to $20K. People talk about it like it's a light jog, and as annoying as that sounds, it's not completely wrong. When you're at 0, every dollar is a fight. You're fighting bills, you're fighting temptation, you're fighting stress. And on top of that, you're fighting a brain that is wired to care way more about right now than 10 years from now. So if you've ever thought, I'm just bad with money, or saving just doesn't work for me, I want you to try on a different idea. It's not that you're bad with money, you're just pre-10K, because something very real changes once you cross that line. The math starts to tilt in your favor. The psychology starts to tilt in your favor, and the way you see yourself with money, that shifts too. In this video, we're going to pull that apart, what actually changes at $10,000, and how to get there even if you're starting from literally nothing. Let's be honest about what life before $10K actually looks like. Payday hits. For about 6 seconds, you feel rich. Then it's gone. Rent pulls a huge chunk. Minimum payments on credit cards take another bite, car payment, phone bill, groceries, and suddenly you're back to, okay, I have like $73 to survive the next 12 days. Your net worth just swings in a tiny, miserable range, maybe $1,000 on a bad month, plus $300 or plussing $500 on a good one. Never enough ahead to feel safe, never enough behind to completely collapse. Just constant edge of panic. So you start treating your credit card like your emergency fund. Tires, copays, surprise bill. Swipe now, figure it out later. You avoid your banking app unless you absolutely have to swipe your card and pray it goes through. You don't ask, is this moving me toward the life I want next year? You ask, can I get away with this today? It's where the decision fatigue kicks in. Every $15 coffee plus snack, every $18 takeout order feels like a big moral choice. Am I being irresponsible? Or do I deserve this? And your brain keeps running the same loop. I'll start saving when things calm down. But somehow, every month has a new thing. A trip, a repair, a birthday, a bill you forgot about. There is always something. Meanwhile, all the little hits, coffee, lunch, Uber, Amazon buy now at 11:43 p.m. They don't feel like a big deal in the moment, but at the end of the month, you scroll through your statement and think, where did my money go? Seriously, what did I even buy? If this sounds like your life, that doesn't mean you're broken. It just means you're still before your first real safety buffer. Let's put some real numbers on this, so it's not just trust the process nonsense. Say you're starting from scratch and you're just saving. No investing yet. No fancy returns. Just you moving money out of checking. Scenario A. You managed to save $150 a month to get to $10,000. That's about 67 months. Roughly 5.5 years. Scenario B. You pushed to $250 a month. Now you're looking at 40 months. Around 3.3 years. Scenario C. You really tighten things up and get to $350 a month. That's about 29 months. Just under 2 poor bad years. All of that is phase 1. Before $10K, with no real help from growth, it's just you grinding. Every dollar is from your effort, your choices, your sacrifices. That's why it feels so slow and so heavy. Now watch what happens at $10,000 when you start investing, instead of just stacking cash. Let's say your $10K is in something boring, like an index fund, earning around 7% a year over time. That's about $700 a year, or roughly $60 a month, in returns. You're still putting in $250 a month from your paycheck, but now your money is quietly adding another $60 a month on top. Your real muscle isn't $250 anymore. It's more like $310 a month without you working extra hours. That's the difference between the first 1K and the next 1K. First $10K plus cents, almost all sweat. Next $10K, sweat plus interest. At $10K, your money might be covering your phone plus internet bill each month. At $20K pulp dollars, it starts to help with groceries. By $50K, the annual return can feel like having a tiny part-time job that works every day, never calls in sick, and doesn't complain. This isn't a feel-good quote. It's math that quietly gets more generous the further you go. Now let's talk about the part nobody explained to you. You're not just fighting bills, you're fighting your brain. Your brain is wired for something called now beats later. $40 on dinner tonight? That feels real. $40 for some older, future version of you? That feels fuzzy and boring and very easy to skip. That's temporal discounting. Your brain was designed to keep you alive until tomorrow, not to help you retire comfortably at 65. For most of human history, the person who grabbed food now survived. The person who said, let's save this for 30 years from now, probably died. Layer on top of that your money script, the messages you heard growing up. I'm just not a money person. People like us don't really get ahead. Rich people are greedy. Those lines sink in. They become the background noise in your head every time you even think about saving. Then there's the house money effect. Your paycheck feels serious, heavy, hard-earned, but a tax refund? A bonus? That random $800 you didn't expect? Your brain instantly tags it as fun money. So you get that refund and the first thoughts are, new phone? Weekend trip? Finally, I can treat myself. But here's how an upgraded investor brain looks at the same $800. That's almost one extra month of contributions. That could shave weeks off my road to 10K. The moment you start seeing 4 or 5 digits in your savings and it actually stays there, your brain quietly flips from, I can't do this, to, I'm the kind of person who does this. Quick question for you. When you get extra money, a refund, bonus, random payout, what's the first thing your brain wants to do with it? Drop it in the comments. Spend it. Or stack it. So what actually changes when you hit that first $10K? Let's start with work. Before $10K, you say yes to almost everything. Extra shifts? Yes. Weekend emails? Sure. Toxic boss crossing every boundary? You swallow it, because in the back of your mind is one loud thought. I can't afford to lose this. You're not choosing your job. Your bank balance is choosing it for you. Once you've got around $10,000 sitting there, something subtle but powerful shifts. You suddenly have what people call walking away money. You might not actually quit. You probably won't. But you know you could survive a couple months while you look for something better. That knowledge leaks into your behavior. You negotiate a raise a little differently. You interview for other roles, and you're less desperate. You push back, respectfully, but you do push back. Because you're not operating from pure fear anymore. Then there's relationships. Before $10K, a lot of money conversations are really fear conversations in disguise. What if the car breaks? What if we get sick? What if the rent goes up? Every unexpected expense is a potential fight because there's no cushion. You're not just arguing about money, you're arguing about survival. With $5K to $10K as an emergency buffer, those same events are still annoying, but they're not existential. The car will still break. The bill will still show up, but now you have a line item for that. You don't have to turn on each other when life throws a punch. And in everyday life, the difference is even clearer. Before $10K, a flat tire is a mini crisis. You're wondering which card to put it on and which bill to accidentally pay late. After $10K, a flat tire is a hassle. It ruins your afternoon. Not your mom. Same person, same job, same salary. Version A has $200 in the bank. Version B has $10,000. Which version dares to say no to a toxic manager? Which version sleeps better? $10K doesn't make you rich, but it does make you less scared. You go from money owns me to okay, I'm finally starting to own at least some of this. Let's talk about how people accidentally blow up their first $10K, because this is where a lot of good stories die. Mistake 1. Treating $10K like a finish line, not a starting line. You grind for months, maybe years. You finally see $8K, $9K, $10,000 in your account, and your brain goes, "We did it. Roll credits. Time to celebrate properly." That's when the group chat drops a, "Let's do Vegas." Or you start looking at cars just to see what's out there. Or you convince yourself you deserve a big purchase because I've been so good. 3 swipe happy weeks later, your $10K is $4K. And you're telling yourself, I'll build it back. But you've just taught your brain, we spend when things go well. Mistake 2. Lifestyle creep disguised as, I'm just leveling up a bit. You feel safer with money, so you quietly start raising your fixed costs. Slightly nicer apartment, slightly more expensive car payment, slightly more eating out because I'm not broke like before. None of these feel huge on their own, but they eat up the exact cash flow that was getting you to $10K in the first place. Instead of your money working for you, it's now working to support a more expensive version of the same stressed out life. Mistake 3. All or nothing thinking. This one is brutal. You hit, say, $9K. Then an emergency happens, a medical bill, a family thing, a car issue, and you have to pull out $2K. Old you would have put that on a credit card. New you uses savings, which is actually the right move, but your brain says, I knew it. I can't hold on to money. What's the point? And because it doesn't look perfect anymore, you give up and slide all the way back to zero. Here's the real difference. Friend A hits $9K, blows it on a Vegas trip, comes home with $2K and no new habit. Friend B hits $9K, gets smacked with a $1.5K emergency, drops to $7.5, but keeps saving like nothing changed. They're back at $10K, faster than it took to go from 0 to $2K. Your first $10K shouldn't be a prize you spend. It should be a foundation you protect. Alright, let's make this practical. Here's a simple 5-step playbook for your first $10K. Step 1. Ton. Name the role of your first $10K. First, you give this money a job. Your first $10,000 is not vacation money. I've been good. I deserve it money. It's emergency floor plus option starter. It's I don't panic when life happens money. The moment you label it that way, your brain stops seeing it as a pile to spend and start seeing it as something to protect. Step 2. Tempt. Break it into 5 micro milestones. Don't stare at $10K as one giant wall. Break it into levels. 500. I can pause the panic for tiny stuff. $1,500. A small car repair or doctor visit doesn't end me. $3,000. I've got about a month to a month and a half of basics. $5,000. I actually sleep better at night. $10,000. Okay, I have real options now. Every time you hit one of these, celebrate the identity shift, not spending. You're proving to yourself over and over, I'm someone who builds money. Step 3. Set your monthly and weekly moves. Pick a target that's based on percentage, not vibe. For most people, that's 10 and 20% of income. Translate that into a dollar amount. Maybe it's $150. Maybe it's $300. Then you automate it. Auto transfer out of your checking the day you get paid. Add one fixed no-spend evening every week and move whatever you would have spent straight into savings. No, it's not, I'll try to save. It's saving happens automatically unless I go out of my way to stop it. Step 4. Fix one big rock, one emotional leak. You don't need to fix everything. Just hit one big rock. Housing, car, or subscriptions. One emotional leak. Coffee runs, eating out, stress shopping. Maybe you move to a cheaper room and cut eating out from 4x a week to 1 to 2x. That alone can free up a couple $100 a month. Now you're attacking both the math and the emotion behind your spending. Step 5. To touring. Lock in your 10K floor rule. Here's the rule. Below 10K at 10Bs, emergencies only. Above 10K, 10Bs, growth and fun. Money above that line gets split like this. 70-80% into investing index funds. Retirement accounts, 20-30% into fun and opportunities. Courses, small business experiments, travel. You still get to enjoy life. You just don't burn the foundation you fought so hard to build. So let's zoom out for a second. On the math level, here's what we've really said. Your first $10,000 is the hardest money you'll ever save because it's almost all you. It's your extra shifts, your no's to take out, your auto transfers, your decision to not blow that tax refund the next 10K. That's you plus compounding. Same effort from you, but now your money starts clocking in beside you. On the psychology level, you're not just stacking dollars. You're changing the default settings in your brain. You're rewriting "I'm bad with money" into "I'm someone who builds money." You're updating from survival mode, "Can I make it through this week?" to builder mode, "How do I make next year less scary than this one?" And on the life level, no, $10K doesn't make you rich, but it does make you dangerous in the best way because options are dangerous. You can walk away from worse jobs. You can say no to garbage offers. You can handle a flat tire, a copay, a surprise bill without your whole month collapsing. $10K isn't just a number in an app. It's a line in the sand. On one side of that line, you're one flat tire away from chaos. On the other side, life still throws punches, but you've finally got a bit of a shield. So here's the choice. You can keep doing what you've been doing, hoping next month will magically feel different, or you can decide that your first $10,000 is the moment your story with money changes. If you're aiming for that first 10K, drop where you're starting from in the comments. $0, $500, $3,000. So I know what to break down next for you. And if you want the next episodes in this series, hit subscribe to Mie Invests. Next up, we're gonna zoom all the way in on your first $1,000. Why it feels so brutally hard, and why most people quit right before they hit it.